Hey, what's going on? You know who it is. You know what it is. All right, man. Chilling outside. About to do a quick workout. Then I'm gonna do some running and shit because working out is the only thing you can do based off the fact that the damn gym is closed. But all right, let me talk some NBA basketball right quick. It really gets on my fucking nerve the inconsistency the media has with this Golden State Warriors team that went to the finals 5 years straight and managed to win 3 out of 5 attempts. Could have possibly won all five if it wasn't for injuries and certain circumstances. And I've never seen a team that has won 3 championships that is so discredited by the media. And basically, the media is finicky and inconsistent with this particular Golden State Warriors team. They can't make up their mind how good this team is or how good this team isn't. But one of the things that bothered me is this whole Kevin Durant BS, because that's completely what it is. The media can't seem to make up their mind about KD, and I'm gonna talk about KD in a video also because I'm gonna give my whole interpretation and opinion on this KD Stephen Curry thing. And see, now all of a sudden the media then jump ship again with KD going somewhere else when they basically practically begged him to lead the Golden State Warriors, where they were trying to discredit this man every step of the way. Now that he's gone, now all of a sudden they starting to go back to hinting that, well, the Golden State Warriors did need him. Okay, now let me talk about this Klay Thompson, Stephen Curry thing. Now the Golden State Warriors have denied that they attempted to trade both Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson to the Hornets for Chris Paul, which, by the way, that would have been ridiculous. But at the end of the day, I don't believe everything that come out of Chris Paul's mouth, because Chris Paul is known to not be very well perceived, to say the least, by his NBA brethren, and I'm gonna leave it at that. Chris Paul sort of has the reputation of Isaiah Thomas for being a snake and being untrustworthy. That's what I heard. Could be true, could not be true. But I never heard of such a trade being in the works. There was never, and in my area, there was never no rumors about Klay Thompson and Stephen Curry both being shopped around at the same time. Okay. Now we all know about the trade with Chris Paul where he went to the Lakers that was killed by David Stern, but you never heard anything in particular as far as Chris Paul being traded to the Golden State Warriors. I never remotely heard anything to be in the works, so I don't know how true that is, because the dude that put that story out, he might be just making up something. The Golden State Warriors have denied that. Now, there was a deal in place to send Klay Thompson to the Timberwolves for Kevin Love. Now, that's factual. But I never heard anything about Stephen Curry being on the trade block. But the thing that bothers me is them having this debate about would the Warriors have won championships and succeeded without Klay Thompson and Stephen Curry, and if Klay Thompson and Stephen Curry went to New Orleans, would they have succeeded? Stephen Curry is an extraordinary player. Some people like him, some people don't. I don't know why people don't like him. Some people just don't like him. They say he isn't as good as they make him out to be, which I think that's absurd. If you think Stephen Curry isn't a good basketball player, then, well, I don't know. Maybe you need to stop talking basketball. Now, we can have a debate about what era Stephen Curry could have played in. Would he have made it? Would he have survived? Well, you know what? He ain't playing in that era. Okay? He ain't playing in that era. We can make that debate about any player. Would they have been able to survive in this era of basketball? We could say if Kareem would have played in this era of basketball, he would have averaged 50 points a game. So at the end of the day, once again, that's subjective, that's debatable. To a certain degree, that talk get kind of tired after a while because you talking about a dude that you talking about the game of basketball 30 years ago versus the game of basketball now. Of course it's different. Just the NBA is different than what it was 30 years ago. Major League Baseball is different than what it was 30 years ago. Football is different what it was 30 years ago. So, it is what it is. But this is what pisses me off about the media. Now, Max Kellerman said something. Once again, I could expose Max Kellerman. I can go back in time when he was one of the people bitching about KD going to the Warriors. But, Stephen A. Smith was the main perpetrator. Like I said, the whole Kevin Durant to the Warriors thing was a false narrative from the start. It was bullshit. The only people that was really upset about it was the LeBron James apologists, because they knew LeBron James wasn't about to see no rings. But on one hand, you have Max Kellerman saying, well, the Golden State Warriors barely beat the Cleveland Cavaliers to win their first championship because they went to 6 games. Then the second year when they won 73 games, they lost to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Then when they won when they won the second championship, they had to get KD to help them win back-to-back. Okay, so if you're saying they wasn't that good when they won the first championship, because basically circumstances is why they beat the Cleveland Cavaliers, well, you can make the same circumstances why they didn't repeat, because LeBron James begged the NBA to suspend Draymond Green. So that argument is reversible. You could say, okay, well, if the Warriors don't lose Draymond Green and they lose their momentum, they beat Cleveland. Okay? But then you turn around and say, well, they lost to Cleveland and they possibly would have lost back-to-back to Cleveland, right? So technically, you saying they needed to get KD, right? Once again, it was the opening. See, this is where the media tells on themselves and show how fake they are. One minute you're saying the Warriors ain't that good and they have a lot of shoulda, coulda, wouldas on why they won. But then they get KD, then all of a sudden they cheated. Well, basically, you said without KD, they wouldn't have won the 2 that they got right now. So technically they did need KD. You see, this is what I'm saying. The media tries to have it both ways. You can't say, well, the Warriors was a dominant team, but then you saying they shouldn't have beat Cleveland, the first year they won their first championship, which, by the way, this is actually their first championship. Their first championship under Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. But you guys know what I mean. Under that realm. So you see how these dudes flip-flop? It's a lot of flip-flopping in sports. This is why you cannot take the lamestream media seriously, because they change their opinion at the drop of a dime. So Max Kellerman pretty much told on them. He pretty much told on ESPN that the whole KD to the Warriors was just a fake narrative, because they was just mad because that just basically worsened LeBron James' chance at winning the chip. And that's all it come down to. It was never about KD, you know what I'm saying, taking the easy way out. It was about LeBron James being destined not to beat the Golden State Warriors, because they wanted to put LeBron James in that Michael Jordan category so bad. Let's just say LeBron James wins 3 straight titles, you know what I'm saying, with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Let's just say whatever happens. Let's just say he wins. You know what I'm saying? Let's just say he wins all 4 attempts. So that gives LeBron James 7 rings. And then you clearly have people saying LeBron James is the GOAT. See, once again, you guys, it come down to subjective titles, suggestive thought process, and people switching up because that's what these motherfuckers do. Now, all of a sudden, Max Kellerman, he basically exposes the media. He tells on himself. Watch the segment. Go to ESPN on YouTube and watch the segment where he basically is dismissing how good Steph Curry and Klay Thompson is. If he's saying they wouldn't have won nowhere else, then why all the fuss about how dominant or how not dominant the Warriors are? This is what I'm talking about, you guys. This is easy. I told you, I pay attention to shit like that. So now all of a sudden, the Warriors ain't as good as people were saying they was before they got KD. Because they basically saying they shouldn't have beat the Cleveland Cavaliers or they shouldn't have won 6 games with them. They should have blew them out. Okay? So what does that say once again about the argument I was making about the Chicago Bulls? When I say these Chicago Bulls, yes, they won championships. They found ways to win. But let's just face the fact. They was not destroying these teams. They were beaten. I'm going to have to look and see what was the scores that they was beating these teams by. Now, you know, you guys know this was years ago. But I don't remember them, like, blowing these teams out. I don't remember them beating teams by 20, 30 points. They were competitive games. Hard-fought games. At the end of the day, the best team usually wins. But what I'm saying is, let's not make it look like these teams was, like, destroying, like these Chicago Bulls teams were just mauling everybody and destroying everything in their path. Because that's not true. But, yeah, once again, the media exposed again how they can't make up their mind about this Golden State Warriors team. This is your boy Town Biz. I'm out.